topic is going to be on Novak Djokovic. And, with Novak Djokovic, I feel like, maybe a year or some change ago, Novak Djokovic, it was very arguable between Novak Djokovic and Alcaraz for who was the best player. And now, I know Djokovic had the injury in his, I think a leg or some injury where he had to tap out of the Australian Open one year. And then he had the head injury, I think, or I don't know how serious it was, but a bottle hit him in the head at a tournament or the Olympics or something. And he's also getting older. He's just seeming to. I think I saw him at the French Open, and he just doesn't. He didn't seem to move around the same. He was still good. His stamina was still elite, the best I've seen on the tour. He's always been like that since I've been watching in 2022. His level of play doesn't drop off like everybody else's. Everybody else drops off some, and he keeps his close to where he's at from the start, the whole game, better than anybody. So he's always at the best stamina, even in his old age, to me. I didn't see him in his prime. So, but he's starting to move slower, especially when I saw him in the French Open. But there's a lot, I saw him play Nori, I saw him play Fritz. I think I saw him play one other guy, maybe. But he looks like, I'm not saying he's the guy he was a year and change ago, especially not prime Novak, which I didn't see prime Novak. But he's hitting the ball way better than he was at the French Open, or a good bit better, and he's moving around a good bit better. He's almost like on the way back to that Djokovic in some ways. Like he's more dangerous in some ways because he's the way he's hitting the ball and the way he's moving around. And, I think he would be one of the prime players that could beat Sinner Alcaraz, obviously. Because even though Fritz is seeded number 4, ranked number 4 to my knowledge, I don't know, maybe he's not. Maybe there's somebody missing for this tournament. But Djokovic was the favorite going into that tournament, or that game, or that match. And, people weren't really surprised that he won 3-1 against Fritz. So people respect Djokovic as one of the people that can knock off those two. But if not the prime one. But there's something else I also saw at the end of that Fritz game. Fritz, like I said, Djokovic had the best stamina I've seen ever since I started watching 2022, even in his old age. But if that thing went to another set, if Fritz could have pulled it out and won that, I think the last set it was 6-4, so if he could have made it 5-5 and ended up winning that set and getting it to a fifth set, I don't think Djokovic would have won because Djokovic was dead. Djokovic was out of breath. His hands were on his knees, and I've never really seen Djokovic like that. So it's like, Djokovic is finally getting it back in some ways with his movement and his hitting, but then now his thing that makes him great in some respects is finally on the down end too. So I just think Djokovic, I don't know, maybe, it was just the day and maybe his stamina. I'm sure his stamina will be great against Alcaraz, even if it's not what it used to be. But it just seems like if it's not one thing, it's another, and maybe he's just on the road to being out of here. I still think he could win a major. I still think it's possible. Am I going to pick it? Probably not. But I don't think Alcaraz and Sinner are going to win every major for years and years and years. And I think like I said, he'd definitely be one of the prime ones to beat them. But, it's just interesting. Interesting to see how he does tomorrow, how his stamina holds up, how he's hitting and moving, and it's Alcaraz who's so great, and him and Sinner just keep getting better and better. So, it'll be interesting to see, and, my favorite player is Alcaraz, so I'm gonna be cheering for Alcaraz. But I hope Djokovic does well. And the last topic, I'm going to talk about Thales Salak.